Alright, so just a quick video on how to swap out the rails on your Team Wendy helmet. This specific helmet is the X-Fill Ballistic, however these steps should apply to the majority of the helmets, depending on which rails you're going to be using. Regardless of which rails you're swapping to, whether you're going from the 2.0 to the 3.0 or vice versa, so it includes all the hardware and stuff you're going to need in the kit, to include the little Allen wrench. It is a 1/16 inch. If you have an inch-pound torque wrench with a 1/16 inch driver, you can also use that, but I do not have a bit that small, so I'm just going to be using the one that they provided. So what I am doing today is I am swapping from the 2.0 rail to the 3.0, just so you can see kind of a little comparison here, the difference. So this black rail here is added on afterwards. It was screwed into the same little port there. So the major difference is it has a small recessed Picatinny rail section here, and they slimmed down this top rail section there. All the stuff back here is the same. The holes line up. Make sure that you get the correct rail for your helmet. So double check and triple check which model helmet you have versus which rail you are buying, because they vary slightly between the carbon and the X-Fill and some of the other LTPs and bump helmets and ballistic helmets is different. So make sure you get the right one so you're not getting frustrated. First step we need to do in order to put the new rails on is we have to take the old ones off. In order to do that, we have to peel back this inner lining and the padding that's in here to access the screws, because these are not the screw heads, these are just caps on the outside. So there are 3 that we need to look for. There's 2 back here and 1 in the front. So all you have to do is just grab some of the padding here and peel it up. I would hold on to the stuff that's attached to the helmet as you pull away, just so you don't remove the blue Velcro that's on here. So there is a black Velcro that does need to come up, and you got to just be very careful here to not peel the blue stuff up, because the blue stuff is what actually attaches everything to your helmet. So I'm actually going to use a little Lego separator tool. It's got this small kind of little prying spatula type end. Any sort of little, I would recommend plastic instrument like that'll work. And what you can do is you can just feed that in between the blue and black Velcro and use that to peel everything away. Once you've peeled away enough of the inner padding, you don't have to remove it completely, just get enough that you can expose the screws and you can access them. You're going to use your 1/16 inch hex driver, and we're going to take these screws out. All right, so you're going to remove the screw. This little cap nut's going to fall out. There is a washer in here that was underneath the screw. This one was compressed enough that it's staying, and pulling on it's not making it actually come out, so I'm just going to leave it, but I just need to double check and make sure that it's actually still there when I go ahead and put the screw in to install the new rail. So we're going to just repeat the same process for the other one. All right, so the washer did come out with that one. Just make sure if it falls down behind the other padding that you have there, that you get that out of there. You don't want that rattling around, so you got all your pieces accounted for. And then now we need to switch to the front because we have to get this 3rd screw out. So we're going to repeat the same process. I'm just going to take my little spatula tool here, and we're going to go in between the blue and the black Velcro. Again, you want the blue stuff to stay stuck to the helmet. Don't ruin your helmet trying to upgrade it. All right, and again, once you have your screw exposed, go ahead and use your nut driver to remove it, making sure to keep your finger on the back side of the retaining nut on the outside of the helmet. All right, so again, the washer came off. We've got our screw, retaining nut, and washer, and then now the rail should just kind of fall off of the helmet a little bit. Some of the glue from the Velcro might be holding on to it, but it's now removed from the helmet. All right, so now that we've got that rail off of here, we'll just kind of wipe this off a little bit. I'll go ahead and install the new one on this side, and all you're going to do is repeat the exact same steps for the opposite side in terms of removing the rail and then adding the new one. So I would recommend using the new equipment that they send for you, simply because number 1, the nut that goes in the front is specific to this rail, and 2, they're brand new and it's new equipment. I'm going to use the new stuff with the new stuff. So the little retaining nuts that go in the front are different than the ones in the back. You can see this one has this kind of notched T-shaped cutout that's going to interface with, if you look down inside of the hole here, you can see there's an exact cutout for that nut to fit in. It's going to help line it up. And you can see better from the back side that same shape. So they do recommend that you start with the front T-nut, so we're going to start with that. So we're going to grab one of our screws, we're going to put a washer on it. We're going to feed it through the hole from the inside. And then we are just going to line this up here, making sure we capture that nut, and then We are going to screw this from the inside into that T-shaped capture nut, but we're not going to tighten it down all the way. All right, so it might take some finagling. I'm having to jam my pinky into the hole to hold the capture T-nut there, but once you finally get it on there, just tighten it down. Again, not all the way. We're not trying to torque this thing because we still have to line up those holes in the back. The instructions say that you have to do the front one first or the holes will not line up in the back. I'm not going to test that theory. I'm just going to take their words for it. They made the helmet, so I feel like they would know what they're talking about. So all we're going to do, again, I have this washer that's already is just stuck there, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that hole. We're going to push the screw all the way through, and then we're going to get one of these capture nuts for the outside, drop it into the hole, and get it screwed on as well. And then we're going to repeat the process for the third one, again, making sure this time we're putting a washer on the screw, inside out, capture nut. You can even get it started from the outside here. It is sticking out enough that I can go ahead and spin this with my finger. All right, so now that I've got all three of the screws snug, I did not, again, crank them down. This is the point where if you have a 1/16 inch-pound torque wrench, you can use that. They recommend that you torque it down to 5 inch-pounds. However, unfortunately, I don't have one. So what they do recommend you doing is using the long end in the screw and turning here. They don't want you doing it this way and having all this leverage and extra torque and then stripping or breaking the screws in there, because this is some expensive equipment, so I'm sure that you would prefer not to break it. So again, we're just going to insert the long end in here and we're going to tighten these down until they're tight, not torque them down like we're He-Man and we're trying to snap this helmet in half. All right, so once you're satisfied that they're nice and tight, that's it. That's all you need to do. Your rail is attached. You just push the padding back down over the Velcro and you're ready to switch to the other side and rock and roll. So hopefully you found this video helpful in your helmet upgrading endeavors. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.